The worst part wasn't sitting alone at her best friend's wedding. It wasn't even the pitying looks from the other guests, or the way conversation stopped when she walked by. The worst part was watching Chloe, her supposed best friend since college, laugh and celebrate with people who had barely acknowledged Olivia's existence all evening. Olivia Martin smoothed her emerald green dress for the 100th time and tried to make herself invisible at table 7. The reception hall buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses, but she felt like she was watching it all through thick glass. Every couple seemed to glow with happiness, while she sat next to an empty chair that should have held her date. "I'm so sorry, Olivia," her co-worker Mark had texted that morning. "Food poisoning. Can't make it to the wedding. Hope you understand." She understood perfectly. Mark had found out last week that Chloe's wedding was going to be featured in a local magazine because her new husband David owned several successful restaurants in the city. Suddenly, being Olivia's +1 to what he thought would be a small ceremony wasn't appealing anymore. The maid of honor, Chloe's sister, Megan, clinked her champagne glass to get everyone's attention. Olivia had known Megan for years, but the woman had never liked her. Tonight, Megan's smile looked particularly sharp. "I want to say something about love," Megan announced, her voice carrying across the reception hall. True love finds everyone eventually. Well, almost everyone. Her eyes found Olivia at table 7. Some people just aren't meant to find love. They're meant to be the supporting characters in other people's love stories. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Not cruel laughter, but the kind that came from people who thought they were hearing a funny observation about life. Olivia felt her cheeks burn as several guests turned to look at her empty table setting. Chloe caught her eye from the head table and gave a little wave, but she didn't correct her sister. She didn't stand up for Olivia. She just smiled and turned back to her new husband. That hurt more than anything else. Olivia had been Chloe's roommate in college. She had helped Chloe through her parents' divorce, her struggles in nursing school, and 3 terrible relationships before David. When Chloe needed someone to drive her to job interviews because her car broke down, Olivia was there. When Chloe got food poisoning the night before her nursing board exam, Olivia stayed up all night taking care of her. But apparently none of that mattered now that Chloe was married and surrounded by her new family. The band started playing a slow song, and couples moved to the dance floor. Olivia watched Chloe dance with her father, both of them crying happy tears. She remembered helping Chloe pick out her dress, spending hours at bridal shops, and listening to Chloe worry about every detail. "You'll be my maid of honor, of course," Chloe had said back then. But 3 months before the wedding, Chloe called to say she had chosen her sister instead. "Family comes first, you know." Olivia had understood then, too. She always understood. A waiter approached her table with a fresh glass of champagne. "From the gentleman at the bar," he said, pointing across the room. Olivia looked over and saw a tall man in an expensive dark suit watching her. He had brown hair, kind eyes, and the sort of confident posture that came from success. He raised his own glass slightly in her direction. She felt a flutter of hope, but it died quickly. Men like that didn't notice women like her. He was probably looking at someone else, or maybe it was some sort of mistake. The man started walking toward her table, and Olivia's heart began to race. He moved through the crowd easily, nodding politely to people who tried to stop and talk to him. His focus stayed on her. "Excuse me," he said when he reached her table. His voice was warm and deeper than she expected. "I hope you don't mind the champagne. You look like you could use a friend." Up close, he was even more handsome. His suit was perfectly tailored, and his watch probably cost more than Olivia made in 6 months. But his smile seemed genuine, and there was something gentle in his expression. "I'm Liam," he said, extending his hand. Liam Carter. Olivia Martin, she replied, shaking his hand. His grip was firm but not overwhelming. Would it be terribly forward of me to ask if I could sit down? Olivia gestured to the empty chair beside her. It's all yours. My date canceled last minute. Liam sat down and looked around the reception hall. Beautiful wedding. Are you close to the bride? We were best friends, Olivia said, then caught herself. We are best friends since college. That's wonderful. Lifelong friendships are rare. The music changed to something more upbeat, and the dance floor filled with laughing guests. Olivia watched Chloe spin around in her wedding dress, surrounded by her new family and husband's friends. Can I ask you something? Liam said, leaning closer so she could hear him over the music. Olivia nodded. Would you be willing to help me with something? I promise it's not inappropriate or dangerous. She looked at him carefully. There was something serious in his expression now. Something that made her think he really did need help. What kind of help? Liam glanced around the room, then back at her. I need you to act like you're mine tonight. Have you ever felt invisible at the moment when you needed support the most? Have you wondered what it would feel like to have someone choose you when everyone else looks past you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to see how this incredible night unfolds for Olivia. Olivia stared at Liam, certain she had misheard him over the wedding band. I'm sorry, what did you say? I know how it sounds, Liam said, his voice low and urgent. But I need you to pretend to be my date tonight. Just for a few hours. She looked around the reception hall, wondering if this was some sort of elaborate prank. Why would you need me to do that? Liam ran a hand through his hair, and for the first time since he sat down, he looked nervous. My ex-girlfriend is here. She's been persistent since our breakup 6 months ago. When I saw her across the room earlier, she started heading my way with that look in her eyes. What look? The one that says she thinks we're getting back together. He gestured discreetly toward a table near the dance floor, the woman in the red dress talking to the bride's mother. Olivia followed his gaze and saw a stunning blonde woman in a form-fitting red dress. She was everything Olivia wasn't. Tall, confident, and surrounded by admirers. She's beautiful. She's also manipulative, demanding, and thinks my money means she owns me. Liam turned back to Olivia. I came to this wedding because David is a good friend and business partner. I didn't know she would be here. So, you want me to pretend to be your girlfriend? Just for tonight. I'll make it worth your time. I promise. And you'll be helping me avoid a very uncomfortable situation. Olivia looked down at her dress, then back at the woman in red. I don't think anyone would believe that you and I are together. Why not? Look at her then, look at me. We're not exactly in the same league. Liam's expression grew serious. First of all, you're beautiful. Second, you have something she doesn't. What's that? Kindness. I can see it in your eyes. You care about people. He paused. She only cares about herself. The sincerity in his voice made Olivia's chest tight. When was the last time someone had called her beautiful and meant it? What exactly would this involve? She asked. Nothing inappropriate, I promise. We'd sit together, maybe dance once or twice. I'd introduce you as my girlfriend. We'd act like we're happy together. And what do I get out of it? Liam smiled. Besides helping someone in need, I'll make sure you have the best night you've had in months. You looked like you needed rescuing as much as I do. That stung. But it wasn't wrong. She had been sitting alone, feeling sorry for herself while her best friend celebrated the happiest day of her life. Plus, Liam continued, I'll owe you a favor, a big one, and I'm someone who can pay his debts. The way he said it made Olivia think he was talking about more than money. There was something about Liam that made her want to trust him, even though they had just met. What happens when people ask questions? I don't know anything about your life. We'll keep it simple. We met through work. We've been dating for a few months and we're taking things slow. He reached into his jacket and pulled out his phone. What do you do for work? I'm a marketing coordinator. Well, I was until last month. What happened last month? Budget cuts. I've been freelancing since then, but it's not going well. Liam's expression grew thoughtful. Marketing. That's actually perfect. I could use someone with marketing experience. For what? I'll tell you later. Right now, my ex is heading this way. Olivia glanced over and saw the woman in red walking towards their table with determination. Her smile looked predatory. So Liam asked, "Will you help me?" Olivia thought about sitting alone for the rest of the evening, watching happy couples dance while Megan made more comments about people who weren't meant for love. She thought about going home to her empty apartment and spending Sunday sending out more job applications that would probably be ignored. Then she looked at Liam, who was offering her a chance to feel wanted, even if it was just pretend. "Yes," she said, "I'll help you." Relief flooded Liam's face. "Thank you. I owe you already." He reached over and took her hand, just as the woman in red arrived at their table. "Liam, darling," the woman said, her voice honey-sweet, but with an edge underneath. "I was hoping I'd run into you here." "Hello, Sophia," Liam said, not letting go of Olivia's hand. "I'd like you to meet my girlfriend, Olivia." Sophia's smile faltered for just a moment before snapping back into place. "Girlfriend? How unexpected." Olivia felt Sophia's eyes examining her from head to toe, cataloging every flaw. The silence stretched uncomfortably. "It's nice to meet you," Olivia said, surprised by how steady her own voice sounded. "Yes, well." Sophia's attention turned back to Liam. "I was hoping we could talk privately about the Morrison deal." "There's nothing to discuss," Liam said. "That deal was settled months ago." "Still, I think we should, Sophia." Liam's voice carried a warning. "I'm here with Olivia, and I'd like to enjoy the evening with her." Sophia's smile became razor-sharp. "Of course. How long have you two been together?" Olivia felt panic rise in her throat, but Liam squeezed her hand gently. 3 months, he said. "Best 3 months I've had in years." The way he said it, looking directly at Olivia with warmth in his eyes, almost made her believe it herself. "How romantic," Sophia said. "And where did you meet?" "Through work," Olivia said, finding her voice. Liam needed someone with marketing experience. "Oh, you work for him?" There was something dismissive in Sophia's tone that made Olivia's spine straighten. "I work with him. We're partners." It wasn't exactly true, but Liam's approving squeeze of her hand told her she had said the right thing. "Partners," Sophia repeated. "How modern." The band struck up a slow song, and Liam stood up, still holding Olivia's hand. "Would you like to dance?" he asked. Olivia nodded, grateful for the chance to escape Sophia's scrutiny. As Liam led her to the dance floor, she heard Sophia mutter something under her breath that sounded like, "We'll see about that." "You did great," Liam whispered, as he pulled Olivia into his arms for the dance. "She hates me already." "Good. That means it's working." Olivia looked up at him as they swayed to the music. "What exactly did I just get myself into?" Liam smiled, and for a moment she forgot this was all pretend, something that might be the best thing that ever happened to both of us. Dancing with Liam felt like stepping into a different life. He moved with confidence, leading her easily through the slow song while other couples swayed around them. Olivia could feel eyes watching them, but for once, the attention didn't make her want to disappear. "You're a good dancer," she said, looking up at him. My mother insisted on lessons when I was 12. I hated it then, but I'm grateful now. It shows. Liam spun her gently, and when she came back to him, his smile was genuine. You're not what I expected when I walked over to your table. What did you expect? Someone who needed rescuing. But you're rescuing me just as much. The song ended, but Liam didn't let go of her hand as they walked back toward their table. Sophia was nowhere to be seen, but Olivia noticed other guests watching them with interest. Olivia? A familiar voice called out. Chloe was walking toward them, her wedding dress trailing behind her like a cloud of white silk. Her face showed confusion and curiosity. Chloe, hi, Olivia said, suddenly nervous. Congratulations again. Everything is beautiful. Thank you. Chloe's eyes moved to Liam, then to their joined hands. I don't think we've met, Liam. Carter, he said, extending his free hand. Congratulations on your marriage. Thank you. Chloe shook his hand, but kept looking between him and Olivia. Olivia, I thought Mark was your +1. He got sick, Olivia said. Liam came instead. Instead, Chloe's eyebrows rose. You mean we're dating? Liam said smoothly. I know Olivia was excited to introduce me to her best friend. Chloe's expression shifted to something Olivia couldn't quite read. Surprise mixed with something that might have been concern. That's wonderful, Chloe said slowly. How long have you two been together? A few months, Olivia said, sticking to their story. And I've never heard about him. Olivia felt heat creep up her neck. Chloe was right to be suspicious. They had talked on the phone just last week, and Olivia had definitely not mentioned dating anyone. We wanted to keep things private at first, Liam said, stepping closer to Olivia. You know how it is with new relationships. Sometimes it's better to see how things develop before telling everyone. Of course, Chloe said, but her tone suggested she didn't quite believe it. Well, I should get back to David, but we should definitely catch up soon, Olivia. Definitely, Olivia agreed. After Chloe walked away, Olivia slumped slightly. She knows something's off. She's suspicious because you looked guilty, Liam said gently. If we're going to make this convincing, you need to act like you're happy to be here with me. I am happy to be here with you, Olivia said, then caught herself. I mean, I'm grateful for your help. Are you happy, though? The question was simple, but it made Olivia think. When was the last time she had felt genuinely happy? Not content, not okay, but actually happy. I'm having a better time than I expected, she said honestly. Good. That's what I want to hear. A waiter appeared with fresh drinks, and Liam tipped him generously. As they sat back down at their table, Olivia noticed how different everything felt now. The empty chair was gone, replaced by Liam's warm presence. The pitying looks had turned to curious glances. Tell me about yourself, Liam said. If we're supposed to be dating, I should know more than just your name and profession. What do you want to know? Everything. Where did you grow up? What do you love? What makes you laugh? Olivia sipped her champagne. Buying time. It had been so long since someone asked her these kinds of questions. I grew up in Cleveland, she said. My parents are both teachers. I have one sister who's married and lives in California. Are you close with your family? Very. They worry about me being single in the big city, but they're supportive. What about friends, besides Chloe? Olivia hesitated. I'm not great at making friends. Chloe and I met in college and we just clicked. Most of my other friendships faded after graduation. That's not uncommon. Adult friendships are harder to maintain. What about you? Tell me about your life. Liam's expression grew more guarded. I started my first company when I was 25. It was a tech startup that got bought out 3 years later. I used that money to start my current company, which does what? Software development mostly for healthcare systems. We help hospitals and clinics manage patient data more efficiently. That sounds important. It is, and it's profitable, which doesn't hurt. There was something in his tone that suggested the money wasn't entirely a good thing. Is that how you met Sophia? She was the marketing director at one of our client companies. We dated for 2 years. He paused. I thought I loved her, but looking back, I think I was just lonely. What changed? I realized she never asked me questions like the ones I just asked you. She knew my net worth, my business schedule, and my credit score, but she didn't know what made me laugh or what I did on Sunday mornings when no one was around. What do you do on Sunday mornings? Liam smiled. I make pancakes and read mystery novels. Very exciting. I love mystery novels. Who's your favorite author? Louise Penny. You, Agatha Christie. Classic choice. I know. Classic for a reason. They talked for another hour, sharing stories and discovering surprising connections. Liam had also grown up in Ohio, just 2 hours from Olivia's hometown. They both loved hiking, hated romantic comedies, and had complicated relationships with social media. This is the longest conversation I've had with someone new in months, Olivia admitted. Same here. Most people want to talk about business or ask me for favors. Is that why you don't like being wealthy? Liam looked surprised. How did you know I don't like it? The way you said it was profitable. Like you were apologizing for having money. You're very observant. It's a defense mechanism. When you're used to being overlooked, you learn to pay attention to details. I don't think you're someone who should be overlooked. The sincerity in his voice made Olivia's heart skip. Even if this was all pretend, Liam had a way of making her feel seen that she hadn't experienced in years. The band announced the last dance, and couples began moving to the floor for one final song. Shall we? Liam asked, standing and offering his hand. We should probably make one more appearance. Olivia agreed. As they danced to the slow, romantic song, Olivia found herself forgetting that this was all an act. Liam held her close, and she could smell his cologne, feel the warmth of his hand on her back. When she looked up at him, he was already watching her with an expression she couldn't quite read. Thank you, he said softly. For tonight, for helping me. Thank you for asking. Can I ask you something else? What? Would you like to have dinner with me tomorrow night? Not as pretend dates, as real people who enjoyed talking to each other. Olivia's breath caught. This wasn't part of the deal they had made. Are you sure? I'm sure. Unless you don't want to. She thought about saying no, about keeping this as a beautiful memory from one perfect evening. But looking into Liam's eyes, she realized she didn't want this to end. I'd like that, she said. Good. I was hoping you'd say yes. As the song ended and the reception began winding down, Olivia felt like Cinderella approaching midnight. Soon the magic would end, and she'd go back to being ordinary Olivia with no job and no prospects. But maybe, just maybe, the magic didn't have to end at all. The next evening, Olivia stood in front of her closet for the 3rd time in 20 minutes, second-guessing every outfit choice. The wedding had been formal, giving her an excuse to wear her best dress. But tonight was different. Tonight was real. Liam had texted her that morning with an address and a simple message. Looking forward to tonight, dressed comfortably. She settled on dark jeans, a soft blue sweater, and ankle boots. It was casual enough to feel like herself, but polished enough for wherever he might take her. The address led her to a small Italian restaurant tucked between a bookstore and a flower shop. It wasn't the expensive, flashy place she had expected. Instead, it looked warm and intimate with checkered tablecloths and the soft glow of candles and wine bottles. Liam was already waiting at a corner table, and when he saw her, his face lit up with genuine pleasure. He stood as she approached, and she noticed he had also dressed casually in dark jeans and a gray button-down shirt. "You found it," he said, pulling out her chair. "Google Maps is a wonderful thing," Olivia replied, settling into her seat. "This place doesn't look like much, but they make the best carbonara in the city. A friend of mine recommended it years ago. It's perfect. I was worried you'd take me somewhere with cloth napkins and waiters who judge your pronunciation of French words." Liam laughed. "I save those places for business dinners. They're terrible for actual conversation." A waiter brought the menus and took their drink orders. As they settled in, Olivia felt some of her nervousness fade. This felt natural, like a continuation of their conversation from the wedding. "How was your day?" Liam asked. "Quiet. I sent out a few job applications and cleaned my apartment." She paused. "How was yours?" "Meetings mostly, but I kept thinking about last night." "Good thoughts, I hope." "Very good thoughts. I was wondering if you'd had time to think about what you want to do next. Career-wise, I mean." Olivia sat down her menu. "Are you offering me a job? I'm offering you options. Yesterday you said you were freelancing, but it wasn't going well. Today, I have a marketing position that needs to be filled. Liam, you don't have to. I'm not offering because I feel sorry for you," he said firmly. "I'm offering because I need someone good, and after talking to you last night, I think you might be exactly what I'm looking for. You barely know me. I know you're smart, observant, and can think on your feet. I know you care about doing things right, and you're not afraid to work hard." He leaned forward. "Those are the qualities I need." Olivia felt a familiar flutter of hope mixed with skepticism. "What would the job involve?" "My company is launching a new product in 6 months. It's software that helps small medical practices manage their patient communications. We need someone to develop the marketing strategy from the ground up." That sounds challenging. It is, but it's also an opportunity to build something from scratch. You'd have a team, a real budget, and the freedom to be creative. The waiter returned to take their orders. After he left, Olivia looked across the table at Liam. "Why are you doing this?" "Because I need a marketing director and you need a job." "It's practical. Is it only practical?" Liam was quiet for a moment, considering his answer. "No, it's not only practical. I like you, Olivia. I like talking to you. I want to see what you can do when someone gives you a real chance. What if I'm terrible at it? What if you're brilliant at it?" The possibility hung between them like a bridge she was afraid to cross. "I'd need to know more about the company, the product, the timeline," she said. "Of course. Come in tomorrow morning and I'll show you everything. Meet the team, see the office, ask whatever questions you want, and if I decide it's not right for me, then you walk away. No hard feelings. But I hope you'll give it a serious chance." Their food arrived, and they spent the next hour talking about work, travel, and books. Liam told her about growing up with parents who expected him to become a doctor or lawyer, and how starting his own company had been an act of rebellion that paid off. "They're proud of me now," he said. "But there were a few years when family dinners were very tense." "What changed their minds?" "Success, mostly. It's hard to argue with results." He paused. "What about your parents? Are they supportive of your career?" "They try to be. My mom keeps sending me job postings for marketing positions in Cleveland. She wants me to move home and settle down with someone stable." "And what do you want?" "I want to be successful at something I'm passionate about. I want to build a life I'm excited to wake up to." "That's exactly what I want, too." After dinner, Liam walked her to her car. The evening air was cool, and Olivia pulled her sweater closer around herself. "Thank you for tonight," she said. "And for the opportunity. Whether I take it or not, I appreciate you thinking of me. Thank you for giving me a chance to show you I'm more than just someone who needed a fake girlfriend." They stood by her car, and Olivia felt the weight of the moment. This was where the evening would either end politely or become something more. "Olivia," Liam said softly, Yes, I hope you take the job. But even if you don't, I hope you'll let me take you to dinner again, even if we're not pretending to date. Especially if we're not pretending. He stepped closer, and for a moment, Olivia thought he might kiss her. Instead, he reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. I'll see you tomorrow morning, he said. 10 Tokwokos, I'll be there. As she drove home, Olivia's mind raced with possibilities. The job offer was generous, maybe too generous. But there had been something in Liam's eyes when he talked about his company, a passion that went beyond profit margins and quarterly reports. And there had been something else, something that made her think this dinner had been as meaningful for him as it had been for her. Her phone buzzed with a text message as she parked outside her apartment building. Thank you for a perfect evening. Sleep well, she typed back quickly. Thank you for the best day I've had in months. See you tomorrow. As she got ready for bed, Olivia found herself imagining what it would be like to work with Liam, to see him every day to build something together. It was dangerous to hope for too much, but for the first time in weeks, she felt like good things might actually be possible. Tomorrow, she would learn more about his company and make a decision that could change everything. Tonight, she would let herself believe that sometimes fairy tales did continue past midnight. Liam's office building was nothing like what Olivia had expected. Instead of a sterile glass tower, she found herself standing in front of a converted warehouse in a trendy part of downtown. The brick exterior was softened by large windows and climbing ivy, giving it an almost residential feel. Inside, the space was open and bright with exposed brick walls, polished concrete floors, and plants everywhere. Employees worked at standing desks, in comfortable lounge areas, and in glass-walled conference rooms. The atmosphere was relaxed but focused. Olivia, Liam called out as she stood in the lobby taking it all in. He approached with a warm smile, dressed in jeans and a navy pullover. Right on time. This place is amazing, she said. Honestly, it's not what I pictured. What did you picture? Something more corporate, more intimidating. I wanted to create a space where people actually want to spend their time. Come on, let me show you around. He led her through the different areas, introducing her to team members and explaining how the company was organized. Everyone seemed genuinely happy to meet her, and several people mentioned that Liam had been talking about bringing in a marketing director for months. Here's where you'd be working, Liam said, stopping at a corner office with large windows overlooking the street. If you take the position, the office was empty, but inviting with built-in bookshelves and enough space for a proper desk and meeting area. It's beautiful, Olivia said, but this seems too nice for someone you've known for 2 days. It's not too nice for someone who's going to help us reach thousands of small medical practices across the country. They settled into chairs by the window, and Liam pulled out a tablet. Let me show you what we're working on. For the next hour, he walked her through the product they were developing. It was software that would help small doctors' offices and clinics communicate more effectively with their patients, sending appointment reminders, test results, and health tips through a secure platform. The big hospital systems already have sophisticated communication tools, Liam explained. But family doctors and small practices get left behind. They're still using phone calls and basic email to stay in touch with patients. And your software would change that. It would level the playing field. A 3-person family practice could offer the same quality of communication as a major medical center. Olivia could see the passion in his eyes as he talked about the project. This wasn't just about making money. It was about solving a real problem. What's the timeline? She asked. We want to start beta testing in 3 months and launch fully in 6. The product is almost ready, but we need a marketing strategy that will reach our target audience effectively. Small medical practices probably don't have big marketing budgets. Exactly, which is why we need someone creative enough to find ways to reach them that don't cost a fortune. Olivia's mind was already spinning with ideas. She thought about the small clinic where her family doctor worked, how they still used a paper appointment book and called patients with test results. "I'd want to interview some of your target customers," she said. "Understand their current processes and pain points." "Absolutely. I can set up calls with a dozen practices we've been working with, and I'd want to research what your competitors are doing. We'll give you access to all our competitive analysis." They talked for another hour about the challenges and opportunities. Olivia found herself getting excited about the project, imagining campaigns and strategies that could make a real difference. "Can I ask you something personal?" Liam said as they took a break. "Sure. What happened at your last job?" "You mentioned budget cuts, but..." Olivia sighed. "The truth is, my boss never liked me. I think he saw me as a threat because I had ideas that were different from his. When they needed to cut costs, I was an easy target." "What kind of ideas?" "He wanted to focus all our marketing on big corporate clients. I thought we were missing opportunities with smaller businesses who needed our services just as much." She paused. "Sound familiar?" Liam smiled. "Very familiar. You'd fit in well here." "Why did you start this company?" "Because I got tired of working for people who only cared about profit margins. I wanted to build something that actually helped people, even if it made less money. Making money is important, but it's not the only thing that matters. When I was growing up, my family doctor knew everyone in town. He cared about his patients as people, not just medical cases, but he spent half his time on paperwork and phone calls instead of actually helping people. So you decided to give him better tools and thousands of doctors like him." Olivia looked around the office at the employees working on their projects, at the energy and purpose that filled the space. "I want the job," she said. Liam's face lit up. "Really? Really? When can I start?" "Tomorrow, if you want. We'll work out all the details, salary, benefits, everything. But I'm thrilled to have you on the team. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for taking a chance on us." They spent the rest of the morning working out the practical details. The salary was more than Olivia had hoped for. The benefits were excellent, and she would have a team of 3 people to work with. As they finished the paperwork, Liam's assistant knocked on the door. "Sorry to interrupt," she said, "but your lunch meeting is here." "Already?" Liam checked his watch. "I'm sorry, Olivia. I have a client lunch that I can't reschedule." "Of course. I should probably go home and start preparing anyway." "Actually," Liam said, "would you like to have dinner tonight to celebrate your new job? I'd love that." "Great. I'll pick you up at 7. As Olivia walked back to her car, she felt like she was floating. She had a good job with a company she believed in, and a boss who valued her opinions. More than that, she had Liam, who seemed to see potential in her that she sometimes forgot she had. Her phone rang as she reached her car. Chloe's name appeared on the screen. "Hey," Olivia answered. "Hey, yourself. How are you doing after the wedding?" "I'm good. Really good, actually. I wanted to talk to you about your date, Liam." Olivia felt her stomach clench. "What about him? Where did you meet him? You never mentioned dating anyone. I told you we met through work, but you don't have a job right now." Chloe was right, and Olivia realized she needed to be more careful with her story. "I was doing some freelance work for his company. We started talking and things developed from there. He seems nice, but don't you think it's moving a little fast? Bringing him to my wedding when you've only been dating a few months?" "It's fine, Chloe. I can handle my own relationships. I know you can. I just worry about you. You're so trusting, and sometimes people take advantage of that. Liam's not taking advantage of me." "How do you know? You said yourself he's wealthy. Maybe he's looking for someone who won't make demands on him." The suggestion stung because it echoed Olivia's own fears. "I have to go," Olivia said, "but I'm fine." "Really?" "Okay, but if you need to talk, I'm here." After she hung up, Olivia sat in her car for a few minutes, thinking about Chloe's words. Was she being naive? Was Liam's interest in her too good to be true? Then she thought about the way he had talked about his company, the genuine passion in his voice when he described helping small medical practices. She thought about how he had listened to her ideas and valued her opinions. Maybe it was too good to be true. But for the first time in her life, she was going to choose to believe in something wonderful instead of waiting for it to fall apart. Tonight, she would celebrate her new job and see where this unexpected relationship might lead. Tomorrow, she would start building the life she had always wanted. 3 weeks into her new job, Olivia felt like she was living someone else's life. Her days were filled with interesting projects, creative challenges, and colleagues who actually listened to her ideas. Her evenings were spent with Liam, sharing dinners, long walks, and conversations that lasted until midnight. Everything was going perfectly, which was exactly why she should have seen the trouble coming. It started with a phone call on a Thursday afternoon. Olivia was in her office reviewing market research data when her assistant knocked on the door. "There's someone here to see you," she said. "She doesn't have an appointment, but she says it's urgent." "Who is it?" "Sophia Preston. She says she knows you." Olivia's stomach dropped. Sophia was Liam's ex-girlfriend, the woman in the red dress from the wedding. What could she possibly want? "Send her in," Olivia said, trying to keep her voice steady. Sophia walked into the office like she owned the place. She was just as stunning as Olivia remembered, wearing a designer suit and carrying a handbag that probably cost more than Olivia's monthly rent. "Olivia," Sophia said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "What a lovely office. Liam certainly takes care of his employees. Sophia, what can I do for you? I was hoping we could have a chat. I was woman to woman." Olivia gestured to the chairs by the window. "What about?" Sophia sat down and crossed her legs elegantly. "About Liam, of course. And about this little arrangement you two have." "I'm not sure what you mean." "Oh, come now. We're both adults here. I know what Liam is like when he's really interested in someone, and what I saw at the wedding, wasn't it?" Olivia felt heat rise in her cheeks, but she kept her voice level. "You're wrong." "Am I?" "Tell me, when did you two really meet? I don't see how that's any of your business." Sophia laughed. "You met at the wedding, didn't you? He needed a date to avoid me, and you were conveniently sitting alone." The accuracy of the guest made Olivia's heart race, but she didn't respond. "I thought so," Sophia continued. "The question is, what did he promise you in exchange? Money? A job?" She looked around the office meaningfully. "Both. You need to leave." "I'm trying to help you, Olivia. You seem like a nice person, but you're in over your head. Liam doesn't date women like you. Women like me. Ordinary women. Women who need rescuing. He likes his charity cases for a while, but eventually he gets bored and moves on to someone more suitable." Each word was designed to hurt, and it was working. Sophia was voicing every insecurity Olivia had been trying to ignore. "If that's true, why are you here?" "Because I care about Liam and I can see he's making a mistake. He thinks he wants something real and simple, but that's not who he is. He needs someone who understands his world, his responsibilities." "Someone like you? Exactly like me." Olivia stood up. "This conversation is over. Please leave." Sophia rose gracefully and smoothed her skirt. "Think about what I've said, Olivia. Ask yourself if this is really love, or if you're just a convenient solution to a temporary problem." After Sophia left, Olivia closed her office door and sat down heavily in her chair. The woman's words echoed in her mind, mixing with her own doubts and Chloe's warnings. Was she being naive? Had Liam offered her the job just to keep her around? Was their relationship real, or was she just filling a role in his life? Her phone buzzed with a text from Liam, looking forward to dinner tonight. "I have something special planned. Usually a message like that would have made her smile. Today, it made her stomach twist with anxiety. That evening, Liam picked her up at 7:00 as planned. He seemed excited about something, practically bouncing with energy as they drove across town. "Where are we going?" Olivia asked. "You'll see. It's a surprise." He pulled up in front of an elegant restaurant downtown, the kind of place Olivia had only seen in magazines. A valet took their car, and the maitre d' greeted Liam by name. "Mr. Carter, your table is ready." They were seated at a private table on the restaurant's rooftop, with views of the city lights stretching out below them. It was beautiful and romantic. But all Olivia could think about was Sophia's words. "This is incredible," she said, trying to match Liam's enthusiasm. "I wanted tonight to be special." He reached across the table and took her hand. "These past few weeks have been amazing. You've made everything better work in life. Liam, I know we haven't been together very long, but I feel like I've been waiting for you my whole life." His words should have filled her with joy. Instead, they made her feel guilty and confused. "Is that why you hired me?" she asked. Liam looked puzzled. "What do you mean? Did you offer me the job because you wanted to keep me around? Because it was convenient? Where is this coming from?" Olivia pulled her hand back. "Sophia came to see me today." Liam's expression darkened. "What did she say?" "That you don't really care about me. That I'm just a charity case you'll get tired of eventually." "And you believed her?" "I don't know what to believe. This all happened so fast, Liam. The job, us, everything. Maybe it's too good to be true. It's not too good to be true. It's just good. How can you be sure?" Liam was quiet for a long moment, staring out at the city lights. "Because I've never felt this way before," he said finally. "Not with Sophia, not with anyone. When I'm with you, I feel like myself. Not the successful businessman or the wealthy guy everyone wants something from. Just Liam. But what if Sophia's right? What if we're too different? What if we're not? What if the differences are what make this work?" Olivia wanted to believe him, but the doubts were too strong. "I think I need some time to figure this out," she said. "Time apart, time to think about us, about the job, about everything." Liam nodded slowly. "If that's what you need." The drive back to her apartment was quiet and tense. When they pulled up outside her building, Liam turned to her. "Olivia, whatever Sophia said, whatever doubts you're having, remember one thing. I chose you. Not because you were convenient or easy, but because you're extraordinary. I don't feel extraordinary. That's one of the things I love about you." The word love hung between them, heavy with meaning and possibility. "I'll call you," Olivia said, getting out of the car. "I'll be waiting." As she watched him drive away, Olivia felt like she was making a terrible mistake. But Sophia's words had planted seeds of doubt that she couldn't ignore. Was she extraordinary enough for someone like Liam? Or was Sophia right that this was all just a beautiful illusion that would eventually shatter? Tomorrow she would have to decide whether to fight for something wonderful or protect herself from potential heartbreak. Tonight she would try to figure out which choice would hurt less in the long run. Olivia spent the weekend analyzing every moment she had shared with Liam, looking for signs that Sophia might be right. She replayed conversations, examined gestures, and questioned motives until her head ached from overthinking. By Sunday evening, she was no closer to an answer than she had been on Thursday night. Monday morning at work felt different. Liam was professional and polite when their paths crossed, but the easy warmth between them was gone. Her team noticed the change, asking if everything was okay, and Olivia realized that her personal confusion was affecting her professional performance. She was in her office late Monday evening trying to lose herself in market research when her assistant knocked on the door. "I'm sorry to bother you," she said, "but there's someone here to see you. He says he's Liam's father." Olivia looked up in surprise. "Send him in." Robert Carter was an older version of his son, with silver hair and the same kind eyes, but there was something formal about his manner that put Olivia on edge. "Miss Martin," he said, extending his hand. "I'm Robert Carter. Thank you for seeing me without an appointment." "Of course. Please sit down." Robert settled into the chair across from her desk and looked around the office approvingly. "Liam has spoken very highly of your work," he said. "He tells me you've brought fresh perspective to the marketing strategy. I'm enjoying the challenge. I'm sure you are. It's quite an opportunity for someone in your position." There was something in his tone that reminded Olivia uncomfortably of Sophia. "What can I do for you, Mr. Carter? I understand you and my son have become close. We're dating." "Yes, I see. And how long have you known Liam?" "A few weeks." Robert nodded as if this confirms something he already suspected. "Miss Martin, I'm going to be direct. My son is a good man, but he has a tendency to be impulsive, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. I'm not sure I understand. He sees someone in need, and he wants to help. It's an admirable quality, but it sometimes leads him to make decisions based on emotion rather than logic." Olivia felt anger beginning to build in her chest. "Are you suggesting that I'm taking advantage of your son?" "I'm suggesting that perhaps this relationship has moved faster than is wise for either of you. With respect, Mr. Carter, that's between Liam and me." Robert leaned forward. "Is it? When my son's personal decisions affect his business judgment, it becomes a family matter." "What do you mean? Hiring someone he's romantically involved with creates complications, conflicts of interest, potential legal issues, questions about favoritism?" The implications of his words hit Olivia like a physical blow. "You think he hired me because we're dating. I think he hired you very quickly after meeting you, and I think his feelings may have clouded his professional judgment." "That's not true. How can you be certain? You've known him for less than a month." Olivia thought about Sophia's visit, about her own doubts, about the speed with which everything had happened. Maybe Robert was right. Maybe she was the problem. "What do you want from me?" she asked. "I want you to consider whether this situation is fair to either of you. Liam deserves to make clear-headed decisions about his company and his personal life. You deserve to build a career based on your own merits, not on someone's romantic feelings. And if I agree with you, then perhaps you might consider taking some time apart. Allow Liam to focus on his business, and allow yourself to pursue opportunities where your personal and professional lives aren't so entangled." Robert stood up and straightened his jacket. "I'm not asking you to disappear, Miss Martin. I'm simply suggesting that some distance might be beneficial for everyone involved." After he left, Olivia sat in her office feeling worse than she had since Sophia's visit. Now, it wasn't just Liam's ex-girlfriend questioning their relationship. It was his family. She was still sitting there an hour later when Liam appeared in her doorway. "My assistant said my father was here." He said, "What did he want to convince me that we're bad for each other?" Liam stepped into the office and closed the door behind him. "What did he say? That you hired me because of our relationship? That I'm a conflict of interest? That you're making emotional decisions instead of logical ones?" "And what did you tell him?" "I didn't know what to tell him because maybe he's right." Liam sat down across from her, his expression serious. "Olivia, look at me." She met his eyes reluctantly. "I didn't hire you because we're dating. I hired you because you're talented and creative and exactly what this company needs. Yes, I care about you, but that's separate from your professional abilities." "How can you be sure?" "Because I've been in business long enough to know the difference between a good employee and a good person. You happen to be both. But your father has a point about conflicts of interest. My father has opinions about everything I do. He thinks I should run my company the way he ran his marry someone from our social circle and live a life that makes sense on paper. Maybe he's not wrong. He is wrong about you, about us, about what I need." Liam leaned forward. Olivia, I know you're scared. I know Sophia and my father have made you doubt everything. But don't let them win. What if they're right, though? What if this is all too fast and too complicated? Then we'll figure it out together. But we can't solve anything if you keep pulling away. Olivia looked at Liam at the sincerity in his eyes and the hope in his expression. She thought about the past few weeks, about how happy she had been, about how right everything had felt before other people started interfering. I don't want to be the reason you make bad business decisions, she said. You're not. You're the reason I'm making better decisions about the company, about my life, about what I want my future to look like. Your father thinks I'm just someone you're trying to rescue. My father doesn't know you. If he did, he'd realize that you're the one rescuing me. Olivia felt tears prick at her eyes. I'm so confused, Liam. Everyone keeps telling me this isn't real, that it won't last, that I'm not right for you. What do you think? I think I've never been happier than I have been these past few weeks. I think you make me want to be braver and stronger. I think what we have is worth fighting for. Liam smiled for the first time since he had walked into her office. Then let's fight for it. What about your father? About Sophia? Let me worry about them. The only opinions that matter are yours and mine. Olivia took a deep breath. Okay, let's fight for it. Liam stood up and walked around the desk to her. Are you sure? I'm sure. I'm tired of letting other people's fears become my fears. He pulled her into his arms, and for the first time in days, Olivia felt like she could breathe again. No more running away, he asked. No more running away, she promised. As they held each other in her office, surrounded by the work they were building together, Olivia realized that sometimes the biggest risk wasn't taking a chance on love. Sometimes the biggest risk was letting fear talk you out of something beautiful. The next few weeks felt like a test of everything Olivia and Liam had promised each other. Sophia seemed to appear everywhere, at the coffee shop Olivia frequented, at professional networking events, even at the grocery store near Olivia's apartment. Each encounter was brief but pointed, designed to plant new seeds of doubt. Still playing house with Liam? Sophia asked one morning, appearing beside Olivia at the pharmacy counter. How domesticated of him. We're happy, Sophia, Olivia replied, determined not to let the woman get under her skin again. Happiness is temporary. Compatibility is forever. Ask yourself if you can really see yourself at charity galas and board meetings for the next 30 years. Meanwhile, Robert Carter began showing up at the office more frequently, always with legitimate business reasons, but clearly keeping an eye on his son's relationship. He was polite to Olivia, but distant, making it clear that her presence was noted and evaluated. Despite the external pressure, Olivia threw herself into her work with renewed determination. If people were going to question her qualifications, she would prove them wrong through results. The marketing campaign she developed exceeded every target. Her team secured partnerships with 3 major medical associations, and the beta testing program was oversubscribed within the first week of launch. The software that Liam's company had developed was helping small medical practices across 5 states communicate more effectively with their patients. This is incredible, Liam said one evening as they reviewed the latest metrics. They were in his home office, spread out on the floor with laptops and printouts surrounding them. We're 6 weeks ahead of schedule, and the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. Your product is good, Olivia said, highlighting key statistics. It was just a matter of reaching the right people with the right message. Our product, Liam corrected. You've been as instrumental in making this work as anyone on the development team. They had been together for 2 months now, and Olivia was beginning to understand what Liam meant about feeling like himself around her. The successful businessman facade fell away when they were alone, replaced by someone who made terrible jokes, burned grilled cheese sandwiches, and got genuinely excited about mystery novels. I have something to tell you, Liam said, setting aside his laptop. Good something, or concerning something. I think it's good, but you can decide for yourself. He moved closer to her on the carpet. I've been offered an opportunity to expand the company. That's wonderful. What kind of expansion? A healthcare consortium in California wants to license our software for their entire network. We're talking about hundreds of practices, tens of thousands of patients. Olivia could see the excitement in his eyes. But there was something else there, too. What's the catch? She asked. It would mean relocating the headquarters to San Francisco, better access to clients, more opportunities for growth, a chance to really scale what we're doing. When would this happen? 6 months. Maybe sooner if we can get the logistics worked out. Olivia felt her stomach clench. What about your life here? Your family? My family will understand. It's good business. What about us? Liam reached for her hands. I was hoping you'd come with me to San Francisco. To wherever this takes us, Olivia. I know it's soon, and I know it's a big decision. But I can't imagine doing this without you. The magnitude of what he was asking hit her all at once. He wasn't just inviting her to move across the country. He was asking her to build a life with him. Liam, we've been together for 2 months. I know. But some things you just know regardless of timing. What if I'm not ready for something that big? Then we figure out another way. But I had to ask. Olivia looked around his home office at the evidence of their successful collaboration scattered across the floor. 2 months ago, she had been unemployed and alone at a wedding. Now she was being asked to relocate for a relationship and a career that exceeded her wildest dreams. Can I think about it? She asked. Of course. Take all the time you need. That night, Olivia called her sister in California. Olivia, it's so late there. Is everything okay? I need advice, Olivia said, settling into her apartment with a cup of tea about work and life, and making big decisions. Okay, I'm listening. Olivia told her sister everything. The wedding, meeting Liam, the job offer, the complications with Sophia and Robert, and now the possibility of moving to California. Wow, her sister said when Olivia finished. That's a lot for 2 months, I know. Maybe too much. Or maybe it's exactly what you've been waiting for. You've been playing it safe your whole life, Olivia. Maybe it's time to take a real risk. What if it doesn't work out? What if it does? What if this is your chance to have everything you've always wanted? I'm scared. Good. That means it matters. That means, after they hung up, Olivia sat in her apartment thinking about everything her sister had said. She had been playing it safe, settling for less than she deserved, accepting other people's opinions about what she was capable of. Maybe it was time to stop being afraid of good things. The next morning, she found Liam in his office early, reviewing financial projections. I have an answer, she said from his doorway. He looked up, hope and anxiety warring in his expression. And yes, I'll come with you to San Francisco. The smile that spread across his face was worth every moment of uncertainty she had experienced. Really? Really? But I have conditions. Name them. I want to be an equal partner in the expansion, not just your girlfriend who happens to work for you. I want equity in the company and decision-making authority. Done. And I want us to be honest about what we're doing. This isn't just a business relocation. It's us choosing to build a life together. I wouldn't want it any other way. Liam came around his desk and pulled her into his arms. Are you sure about this? I'm sure about us. The rest we'll figure out as we go. As they held each other in his office, Olivia realized that sometimes the most important decisions weren't the ones you made with your head. Sometimes you had to trust your heart and take a leap of faith. She was ready to jump. The announcement of the company's expansion to San Francisco should have been a celebration. Instead, it triggered a series of events that would test everything Olivia and Liam had built together. The first sign of trouble came during a staff meeting where Liam announced the relocation. While most employees were excited about the opportunity, a few expressed concerns about the speed of the decision and the logistics of the move. "This seems sudden," said Jason from the development team. "6 months ago, we were focused on regional expansion. Now we're talking about relocating across the country." "Good opportunities don't wait for convenient timing," Liam replied. "This partnership could multiply our impact by 10. "Is it true that our marketing director will be getting equity as part of the expansion?" asked another employee. Olivia felt every eye in the room turned to her. She had known that Liam's offer would become public knowledge eventually, but she hadn't expected it to happen so quickly. "That's correct," Liam said firmly. "Olivia has been instrumental in our success, and her role in the expansion will reflect that." After the meeting, Olivia overheard 2 employees talking in the break room. "It's pretty convenient, don't you think? Dating the boss and getting promoted at the same time. I heard she didn't even interview for her current job. Just got hired after meeting him at some wedding." The words stung because they echoed Olivia's own fears about how their relationship looked to outsiders. That evening, she and Liam were having dinner at her apartment when her phone rang. Chloe's name appeared on the screen. "I should take this," Olivia said. "She's been trying to reach me for days." "Olivia, finally," Chloe said when she answered. "I've been worried about you." "I'm fine, just busy with work." "That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. I heard through my cousin that you're moving to California with Liam." Olivia sighed. She had been planning to tell Chloe about the move herself, but news traveled fast in their social circle. "We're relocating for business reasons," Olivia said. "Business reasons, Olivia? You've been dating this man for 2 months and now you're moving across the country with him. It's not that simple. It sounds exactly that simple. You meet a rich guy at my wedding. He gives you a job and now you're following him to California. How does that sound to you?" Olivia glanced at Liam, who was pretending not to listen, but clearly hearing every word. "It sounds like I'm making decisions about my own life," Olivia said, "or like you're being manipulated by someone who knows exactly how to get what he wants." "Chloe, that's enough. Is it? Have you asked yourself why a successful businessman would hire someone with no experience in his industry? Have you wondered why he's moving so fast with this relationship? We're in love, Chloe. Are you? Or are you grateful, which isn't the same thing?" The question hit too close to home. After Chloe hung up, Olivia sat staring at her phone, her appetite gone. "Everything okay?" Liam asked gently. "Chloe thinks I'm making a mistake. She thinks you're manipulating me. What do you think? I think everyone has an opinion about our relationship except us." Liam moved to sit beside her on the couch. "Talk to me. What's really bothering you? Do you ever wonder if we're moving too fast?" 2 months ago, I was unemployed and single. Now I'm relocating across the country for a man I barely know. You know me, do I? I know you make good pancakes and read mystery novels, but do I know who you really are?" Liam was quiet for a long moment. "What do you want to know?" "Everything. Your real story, not just the parts you've chosen to share." "Okay." Liam took a deep breath. "My father built his company from nothing, and it made him wealthy but miserable. He worked 18-hour days and missed most of my childhood. When I started my own company, I swore I'd do things differently. But success has its own pressures. There are always people who want something from you, who see you as an opportunity rather than a person. Like Sophia. Sophia was attracted to my lifestyle, not to me. She wanted the status and the money, but she had no interest in the person behind it all. How do you know I'm different? Because you've never asked me for anything. You've earned everything I've given you, and you question whether you deserve it, even when you obviously do. Maybe that's just another kind of manipulation, making you feel good about yourself, so you'll give me more." Liam looked hurt. "Is that what you think? I don't know what to think anymore. Everyone keeps telling me this is too good to be true. What if it's just good?" What if sometimes people meet and connect and build something beautiful together without hidden agendas or ulterior motives? What if it doesn't last? What if we get to California and realize we don't really know each other? Then we'll deal with it. But Olivia, we can't live our lives based on worst-case scenarios. That night, Olivia lay awake thinking about everything Chloe had said. Was she being naive? Was she so grateful for Liam's attention that she was confusing gratitude with love? The next morning brought answers she wasn't prepared for. Robert Carter was waiting in the lobby when she arrived at work, and his expression was grimmer than usual. "Miss Martin, I need to speak with you privately." "About what?" "About your employment history. Specifically about why you really left your last job." Olivia's blood ran cold. "I told you budget cuts. According to my research, you were fired for violating company policy. Something about unauthorized access to client files and sharing confidential information with competitors. That's not true, isn't it? Because I have documentation that suggests otherwise." Robert pulled out a folder and handed it to her. Inside were copies of her employment records, including a termination letter she had never seen before. "This is impossible," Olivia said, scanning the documents. "I never violated any policies." "Perhaps not, but these documents exist, and they paint a very different picture of your departure than the one you shared with my son." Olivia's hands were shaking as she read through the fabricated evidence. Someone had gone to great lengths to make her look dishonest and incompetent. "Who gave you these?" she asked. "Someone who cares about my son's welfare and the future of his company." "Sophia." Robert didn't deny it. The source is less important than the content. "Can you explain these discrepancies? They're lies, all of it. Can you prove that?" Olivia realized with growing horror that she couldn't. Her former boss had been careful to document everything in a way that protected the company, but made her look guilty. "What do you want?" she asked. "I want you to tell my son the truth about your past before he makes a decision that could ruin his company's reputation. The truth is that I did nothing wrong. Then you should have no problem discussing this with Liam." But Olivia knew that even false accusations could destroy trust. If Liam had any doubts about her integrity, seeing fabricated evidence might be enough to change everything between them. As Robert walked away, Olivia realized that her enemies had found the perfect weapon. Not lies about her character, but lies about her past that she couldn't easily disprove. Now she had to decide whether to fight for her relationship or protect Liam from the scandal that Sophia and his father were trying to create. The choice would determine not just her future, but whether love was strong enough to survive a war waged by people who wanted to see her fail. Olivia spent the rest of the day in her office, staring at the fabricated documents and trying to figure out how to fight an enemy who was willing to lie. Every time she looked at the forged termination letter, she felt anger and helplessness in equal measure. She was still sitting there when Liam knocked on her door at 7 Harv that evening. "You missed our dinner reservation," he said, concern evident in his voice. "Is everything okay?" For a moment, Olivia considered keeping the whole thing to herself. Maybe she could quietly investigate and prove the documents were fake before anyone else saw them. But looking at Liam's trusting face, she realized that secrets would only make things worse. "Your father came to see me this morning," she said. "He brought some documents about my employment history." Liam's expression darkened. "What kind of documents?" Olivia handed him the folder. "Someone has been working very hard to make me look dishonest and incompetent." Liam read through the papers, his frown deepening with each page. "These claim you were fired for sharing confidential client information, which never happened. I left because of budget cuts. Exactly like I told you. I believe you. Just like that. Just like that." Liam set the folder aside and moved to sit beside her. "Olivia, I've worked with you for months. I've seen your integrity, your work ethic, your dedication. These documents don't change what I know about you, but they look official. Someone could use them to destroy your company's reputation. Let them try. I'll fight anyone who comes after you with lies." Olivia felt tears of relief and gratitude well up in her eyes. Sophia must have paid someone to create these. Your father wouldn't fabricate evidence himself, but he'd use it if someone handed it to him. Probably. The question is, what do we do about it? We fight back, Olivia said, surprised by the determination in her own voice. I'm tired of letting people attack our relationship while we try to stay above the fray. What did you have in mind? I want to call my former boss, get a statement about what really happened. Then I want to find out who created these fake documents and expose them. Liam smiled. I love it when you get fierce. I'm done being the victim in this story. They spent the next 2 hours making phone calls and sending emails. Olivia's former boss was initially reluctant to get involved, but when she explained that someone was using forged company documents to attack her, he agreed to provide a written statement about her actual departure. Budget cuts, he confirmed in an email sent within the hour. Olivia Martin was never terminated for cause and never accessed client files inappropriately. Her departure was entirely due to financial constraints. Liam used his business connections to trace the fake documents back to their source. It took several calls and a favor from a private investigator, but by 10 hours that night, they had their answer. Sophia hired a company that specializes in creating fake employment records, Liam said, hanging up from his final call. Apparently, it's more common than you'd think in corporate sabotage cases. Do we have proof? Enough to make her very uncomfortable if she tries to use these documents again. What about your father? I'll handle him. The next morning, Liam requested a meeting with Robert in the conference room. Olivia joined them, carrying a folder of her own evidence. I assume this is about the documents I showed Miss Martin yesterday, Robert said as they sat down. It's about the lies someone has been spreading to manipulate you, Liam replied. Dad, you've been played. He handed Robert the employment statement from Olivia's former boss, along with the private investigator's report about the forged documents. Robert read through everything carefully, his expression growing more serious with each page. Sophia did this? He asked finally. Sophia paid professionals to do this, Liam corrected. She's been waging a campaign to destroy Olivia's reputation and our relationship. I had no idea. I know you didn't, but I need you to understand something. Olivia is not going anywhere. She's my partner in business and in life, and anyone who attacks her is attacking me. Robert looked at Olivia with what might have been the beginning of respect. I owe you an apology, Miss Martin. I was concerned about my son's welfare, but I allowed that concern to cloud my judgment. I understand, Olivia said. You were protecting your family. Still, I should have investigated more thoroughly before bringing you those documents. The important thing is that the truth is out now, Liam said. What will you do about Sophia? We're going to give her a choice. Olivia said, she can disappear quietly, or we can make her fabrication of evidence very public. That afternoon, Liam and Olivia met Sophia at her downtown office. She was as composed as ever, but there was something brittle in her smile when she saw them together. Liam, what a surprise! And Olivia, how are you settling into your new role? We know what you did, Liam said without preamble. The fake documents, the forged employment records. We have proof. Sophia's composure slipped for just a moment before snapping back into place. I have no idea what you're talking about. We have the private investigator's report. Olivia said, We know which company you hired and how much you paid them. Even if that were true, it's not illegal to verify someone's employment history. It's illegal to fabricate evidence and use it to damage someone's reputation, Liam said. It's called defamation, and it comes with both civil and criminal penalties. Sophia sat back in her chair, finally understanding that she had been caught. What do you want? She asked. We want you to stop, Olivia said. No more surprise visits, no more lies, no more attempts to sabotage our relationship. And if I refuse, then tomorrow morning I'll be making some very interesting phone calls to your clients and professional contacts. Liam said, I wonder how they'll feel about working with someone who fabricates evidence. Sophia stared at them for a long moment, clearly weighing her options. Fine, she said finally. You win. I'll leave you alone. Good choice, Liam said, standing up. Because if you ever come near Olivia again, I'll make sure everyone in this industry knows exactly what kind of person you really are. As they walked out of Sophia's office, Olivia felt lighter than she had in weeks. Is it over? She asked. It's over, Liam confirmed. Now we can focus on the important things, like moving to California, like building a life together. 6 months later, Olivia stood in the window of their new office in San Francisco, watching the morning fog roll over the bay. The expansion had been even more successful than they had hoped, with clients throughout the western states and interest